Appreciate the follow, Stacy. I appreciate the follow. All right, Snatch TV. You're asking me how? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But if you disagree with anything I gotta say on the board, y'all go ahead and come on up, and we can go ahead and talk about it. Y'all go ahead and start liking this live and start sharing it. There was one person that seemed to disagree, but you didn't come on up. No box to join. Let me send you an invite if you can't join.
The same one? Oh, cool.
There you go.
Thought it was a different room.
Not the same one. How's it going, Snatched?
Pretty good. I disagree for the most part with a lot of this, actually.
All right, sure. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll put about 10 to 15 minutes on the clock, and we can go ahead and talk. Hey, Sam Sinclair, my neo-Nazi fan, he's been following me everywhere. I don't know. Sam Sinclair is always here, and he he never comes up. I'm not sure why he's always here, but anyway, Snatched. We got about let's put about 10 minutes on the clock. We could talk before the 10 15 minutes. Go ahead and start with whatever you disagree with.
Well, there's a few. It's pretty like, why should you believe in God? There's a lot of things that you shouldn't have to like debate with someone to do if they're not gonna. But being woke is good. I can't see
Yes, yes.
how I can't see how something like that would survive and keep a positive connotation after the damage that's been done by the woke culture in general, the cancel culture, the bathroom situation, like it's affecting multiple areas in society. And it's usually more so damaged than good. So I can't see how that's good at all.
What does woke mean?
Oh, uh, it's an extreme case of genuflecting. If you know what I mean? Like
No,
they're
no idea.
high horse. What do you call those people? Like they think because they help, they're better than you in some way. Like you take it's a good deed with malice,
Like self
and
righteousness.
basically
Why is that the definition of woke?
unjustified.
Unjustified.
That's how it shows its face in most cases. Like the stereotypical woke white liberal woman screaming for black people's liberty thing. Like she's not even involved, but because she's woke, this is the level it's brought her to.
Who
That's
told you that was
unapologetic.
who told you that was woke?
Society, that's how it's being described. Like that's how it's spoke about. Like it's
Yeah,
not
but
me.
what I'm saying is that you saying that it's society, but where did the term woke come from? When people say stay woke, who created that term? Where did that come from?
It's probably some like it depends on where. Okay, when you say
No,
woke, you're not
it doesn't
actually
depend.
enlightened.
Right? It doesn't depend. Stay woke came from the black community, and it was about being aware of racial and social injustice. So white women screaming at people. Um, who told you that was
Well,
woke? You said society. It wasn't society.
the you're
It was just
I can.
old.
I'll
It was
give
just
you.
old. It was just old white men who said that that was woke, and you just believed it. Why'd you believe
No,
that?
no. I'll give you. I'll give you the fact of whether black people created it within just culture and talking. I could totally see that happening, so I wouldn't question it. But to think that it's like owning a certain kind of hair thing or patenting a color of some kind. Like there's certain things that'll never just be isolated to one specific race. Like it's for the world to share for the most part. Like that's what to me what progress is when everybody's sharing. But if it's on a point to where since black people created it, it can't have a definition outside of what black people designated it as. I can't see
Correct.
that being the case either.
Because here's the thing, like I understand that definitions can change over time, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that definitions
Yes.
can change over time because dumb, D-U-M-B, used to mean someone who just can't speak and they're deaf. That's what dumb used to mean. So it just changes over time. We understand that. However, when it comes to the term when the term dumb, the reason why it transformed is because like it was utilized in a certain way, and then it got accepted by society, and it had an actual function. When people say like when people are using woke, essentially, it literally has no function. You see what I'm saying? People are just using woke for anything that they disagree with. Like for
Does it
example,
mean vigilant?
like hold on. For example, Captain America used to be Steve Rogers all this time, right? In the comic books, it became Sam Wilson, and everyone who's against the new Captain America movies are against it because it's woke. You know what I'm saying? And why are they saying that it's woke? Because there's a black guy in the movie. This literally
That's
has no
that
function.
that that doesn't ring a bell to me at all. And I do more. I will admit I do more social scrolling and TV watching than I should. But even then, I'm not aware of what you're talking about people being bothered about that situation with Captain America.
Yes, people are
It
literally, but
hadn't hit my social circles or like peripheral, so I'm not fully aware. But when you say woke, as far as like with the way that we'll agree, black people invented or coined in their culture and language, it having that to me that would seem more of a local definition because it's not like the entire nation is only black people. But now that the entire nation is aware of such a term, it can, like you said, definitions change over time. And I'm in my mind, that's exactly what it turned into. It turned into a almost paranoid level of vigilance.
what I'm saying is that that's never what it was. You know what I'm saying? Well, my point is that when you say that it became this term of this paranoid vigilance, like no
Yeah.
one's like that. The thing is, the only reason that it started to become that is because old white men just said, "Oh, that's what being woke is." Like it was never that. You know what I'm saying? The reason why dumb became that definition
When
is
was there
because
a meeting about that?
people started. No, I'm not saying there was a meeting about that. I'm saying is that the reason why dumb became that definition is because in society, in our society, around social circles, it started to be using as someone who just isn't smart. Woke never meant white people like a white women screaming at people. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
just an
The-
example that I gave, but in general, do you think the word woke being turned into, I guess, something with a negative connotation, you'd be bothered by that?
I'm very bothered by it because it was always a positive connotation of just being aware of social injustice. That's all it was. That's all it was about. All of a
Which would
sudden,
you think?
conservative. Hold on. All of a sudden, conservative white dudes heard some liberals say it, and all of a sudden, it became some bad thing. Like it was never meant to be used that way. It got bastardized, and people in the black community still use woke to mean something about being aware of social injustice. So when white folks use it as this bastardized term, yeah, it's offensive because we have no idea what you're talking about.
Could you imagine if the old racist people, the old white racist, like heavy or racist people, got mad at black people for co-opting the N word for their own purpose? You think them being mad about that would make sense?
No, of course not,
So then why would you defend woke being turned into a negative?
because like it became a negative due to racial animosity.
Racial. To me,
Yeah,
it's just to
there
me, it's not racial. To me, it's
there
just more like a
it was racial.
overinflated sense of self-importance
the
when
reason the
people
reason
are
that it's the
overfocused.
reason that it's racial is because these old white men knew it came from the black community. They knew that.
These I'm only hearing of these white groups from minorities that talk about the white groups. I never see these white groups.
You ever
I
heard of
mean, I'm not even white
you have
myself.
have you ever heard of what's their name, like
I'm
Donald
in
Trump?
Texas. I'm in Texas too.
Have you
You
ever
know,
you ever
I voted for Trump.
right? So you've heard of Donald Trump. You heard of Greg Abbott. You've heard of
I know
Marco
these
Rubio.
names, but I
Right?
do not categorize them as racist. You do.
I understand that you don't categorize them as racist. That's fine. What I'm saying is that if they're using language, if they're using language in a way that is racial, then what would you call that?
Insensitive? Insensitive? Is that not harsh enough? Because I mean, I hear people speak. I'm not. I don't want to seem as if I'm targeting the black community because I have great empathy and like I'm in awe at the things I've seen happen just within this one community alone. I feel bad that there's uh, help and there's enemies within and in every group. But I don't think that all black people have other black people's best interests. That's not true within any group. I just don't see it like hashing itself out in a way more positive than what I'm seeing in with the people that like black conservatives get destroyed socially like family members. I've had family members try and did like they knew me from when I was in diapers. Like we're family, family. A little bit of politics. Oh, now you're a stranger, and I want to fight. Like it speaks to the morals.
Right, because conservative policy has never been at the advancement of black people. It's always been bad. It's
Because
always
black
been.
people aren't conservative at all. You don't think black people are conservative?
There are black people who are conservative. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is conservative policy has never been towards the advantage of black people.
Smaller government, more family rights,
Smaller government gave us Jim
personal
Crow.
property. Sorry?
Smaller government gave us Jim Crow.
No, Joe Biden gave us Jim Crow.
Joe Biden was a teenager when Jim Crow was happening.
Did he work for Congress?
No,
All right. Well, I'm not one that's thinking that the sins of the past that the children of today got to pay for, and it's not something you can like reparations. You are aware that every single racial group at one point was a slave, right?
so
Is it? Are we going to work our way backwards? Whoever was slaves before then before them, and before them, does it keep going, or does it just only stop at black people?
who said anything about any other racial group? We're talking about America.
No, no. I'm speaking about America. Like, what reparations? Wait, all right. Is that
If the Irish want reparations from the British, they can go get it. Who's stopping
the
them?
Irish still want reparations from us too? Because we were doing dirty stuff to all kinds of groups.
Were they slaves in America and they go through redlining?
Is that the only qualification for suffering?
Yes. No, in America. We're
So,
talking about America.
yeah, what qualifies as suffering?
I didn't say anything about suffering. We're talking about reparations.
They're getting reparations for the slavery. The slavery is the suffering.
Slavery and what else?
What's worse? Death?
Well, I'm not saying what's worse. What I'm saying is that reparations is not only about slavery. It's also about redlining. It's also about Jim Crow. It's also about mass incarceration. It's also about the war on drugs, which the Nixonades admitted was to target black people. It's all about all those things.
Do you
Things
think
that
that they're
things
going to
that
go
held
down the line?
things that held black people back, in particular black Americans, socially and economically. That's what the reparations are about.
You don't think that having black, I don't know why the person being black would help the situation. I'm thinking more so the policy specifically doing what it should do and black people benefiting from it should be the bar. But having black people all throughout stages of government, full, like I can't think of anything on the books right now specifically that would hinder a black person over a white person.
It doesn't have to be on the books.
So we're doing what we feel like it does to us, or are we
It's
going
not. It's
off of
not.
the
It's
word?
not what I feel like. It's what's the results that we actually study.
We go
When
off
we
of the words written, don't we?
No, we don't. We don't just go off what's written. We study actually what's happening because look, employment discrimination is against the law. We know that it's against the law. But when
Yeah.
we actually study employment discrimination in this country, we see that it still happens.
That's why we need the actual audits and making sure people doing their job correctly. We're afraid to punish people for
Right.
random
So
reasons. The laws are not being used correctly.
right. So DEI is a good thing then.
No.
Yeah, it is because that's what DEI was.
So DEI is going to make sure they use the laws correctly to make sure the most qualified person got the job
Correct.
by
There's
what? Guaranteeing you have one of each.
no. There's no quotas in the DEI system. That's not there.
So what specific function does the DEI serve?
The same thing affirmative action serve, making sure that qualified minorities
Affirmative
are not
action is a
blocked.
bad thing. Well, today would be a bad thing.
You didn't even let me finish, bro. Did you listen to what I said?
That it was that DEI was similar to affirmative action.
What did I say about affirmative action?
Affirmative action doesn't apply.
Affirmative action, all affirmative action did was make sure that qualified minorities weren't discriminated against in employment and in jobs. That's what
You
DEI
think it was
does.
only qualified minorities, or it was minorities? Period.
It was qualified minorities. People who are not qualified couldn't get jobs. As a matter of fact,
What if they were qualified and not a minority?
people who are minorities who are overqualified still get less jobs, and we see that in research.
Yeah, but what the whole point is the race being
Ain't
brought
no
into it
ain't
at
no but,
all.
bro. Ain't no but. Like you have to address that fact. There are minorities who are overqualified for jobs and white people who are underqualified for jobs, and the white person gets the job over the black person.
I'm sure that happens in many different circumstances that don't put the white person on top to become the target. That just seems to be the trend for some reason.
What do you mean become the target? White people are not the target of anything. They run this country. What are we talking
Yo,
about?
you should put that. You should put that on. Really,
Yeah.
Americans run this country. I don't care what
No,
race they
no,
are.
white people run this country.
See, the person who sees through that racial lens will always see racism. It's just, I get it. You see through a racial lens, so you see racism more often than not. It is what it is.
No,
America,
this country was just built off racism.
didn't we like? So you have no appreciation for the lives that were given to end racism. None of that mattered, right?
Racism hasn't ended.
So is that a yes?
No.
No, then no, you don't have any empathy for the lives that were given to abolish slavery on our books and for America.
I have empathy for the black people who died for it.
Only
Yep.
you should feel shame because you can't protest what white people do yet have no sympathy for the whites that were on your cause to be like you're not worth allying with if you can't have respect for the ones that died on honorably.
Oh yeah, I can have plenty of respect for them. Yeah, I have respect for them. You're right.
Now you do. You a moment ago you didn't.
Hold on real quick. Hey Kay, I'm doing one-on-one because it gets chaotic when I have so many people up. I kind of did knee jerk. You're right. I kind of did knee jerk about that. I have empathy for anybody who stand up for what's right. Anyone who stands for what's right, I have empathy for them. Whether white, black, brown, whatever, I have empathy for those people. Sure.
And then that's what kept America on the map was that exact notion, that exact idea.
No, it was racism.
How is that not a great moment?
What do you mean?
When people,
What kept America on the map? Nothing kept. What kept America on the map was basically
Christians,
imperialism.
you think Christians didn't feel bad for what was going on with racism and they were complaining left and right?
The most segregated time in America is high noon on Sunday. What are you talking about?
You're giving me an analogy. I'm not sure that
That was not an
pertains to
analogy.
it.
That was not an analogy. That's actually the truth. The most segregated time in America, both back in the civil rights era and even now, is high noon on Sunday.
So you think we shouldn't address the racial tension instead of just pointing at it?
Of course, we should address the racial tension. That's what I'm trying to do. But you keep saying that it's not happening.
I'm trying to address specific things, and you're telling me about how dangerous it is around this time because.
I didn't say anything about danger. You're not addressing anything.
What is
bro.
high noon about? Then what does high noon mean?
Listen to the statement again. The most segregated time in America, is high noon on Sunday, meaning every time people are in church, we're in the most segregated time in this country.
I don't know what that how that applies.
That applies to what you're saying about Christians. You're saying that didn't Christians feel bad about racism? The answer is no, because they segregated
because they
themselves.
went to church.
No, because they segregated themselves.
To go to church.
You're not listening, are you? Hey, thanks for the hat. You're not listening, are you? Listen to what I'm saying again. Listen to what I'm saying to you again. White Christians did not care about racism because white churches were segregated. If they did care about racism, white churches would not be segregated. White Christians also bombed black churches. White Christians, I didn't kick you. White Christians were part of the KKK. My mod must have kicked you because they were tired of you. It was over 10 minutes anyway. So I appreciate you, K. WK in the chat, please. All right, sombrero. I'm bringing you up.
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
How's it going?
It's going great. So I wanted to talk about DEI.
Sure.
And I got a question for you. Are women minorities?
They're political. They're considered political minorities. Yeah.
Yes, political minorities. Are they a gender minority?
A gender minority? I don't
Well, they
think
wouldn't be a
so.
gender minority. That doesn't make sense. I mean, are they a social minority?
Socially, they're a minority. Yeah.
Are they culturally a cultural minority as well? A systemic
not-
minority. That's the word,
That
that would be the word.
no, that depends.
Culturally, they're not a minority here in the U.S.
No, culturally, they're not a minority. White women are not the cultural minority. No.
And what culture? In their own culture, Black African American culture, Hispanic culture, American culture.
In American culture, white women are not the minority. No.
So, what about I think they are. Especially if the majority of white people are Christian, or not the majority, but a big chunk of them are Christian. The traditional values would be considered minority,
What are you talking about?
other races.
What are you talking about?
They would be minority culturally.
If they're Christian?
Yes.
No, they wouldn't be. The majority of Americans are
Well,
Christian.
according to feminist movements, they would be minority. Staying at
No,
home.
women are marginalized in this society. I'm not saying that they're not marginalized, but when it comes to white women in particular, they have the
Okay.
most power.
Okay. What about employment? Are they minority in employment?
Are there more employed women than men?
No, just women. Women in general. Are they a minority? Are they discriminated against when it comes to employment?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if 60% of the population is white here, white people are about to be the minority here soon. I haven't seen the numbers here. And if women fall under DEI, that means the pinnacle of privilege would be white men. 30% of the population here in the US is white men. So that means that the majority of the population here in the US are minorities. Would be people of color, would be women, would be Asians, would be Indian, knowing that Indians are Asians. They would all be minorities. They would all fall under DEA. So do you think DEI, I meant DEI, do you think DEI discriminates against that 30% of white men? Is it fair?
No.
It's not fair?
No, DEI doesn't discriminate against white men.
Why is it not fair? I mean, they make up 30% of the population. Statistically speaking, I mean, it would almost every single job market out there would have some sort of diversity without
Hey,
DEI.
sombrero. DEI does not discriminate against white men.
But well, what does it do then?
It ensures that people in the workplace understand diversity, and it protects companies from discrimination lawsuits when they do discriminate,
So,
to make sure they don't discriminate.
for
I'm sorry.
example, what example? The gaming industry. 1 or 2% of the gaming industry is. I mean, 1 or 2% of the U.S. population have pronouns, right? Have identity pronouns would be the word. Which
Everyone has
I know that
pronouns.
everyone has pronouns. I meant non traditional pronouns like they, them, whatever. And yet they make up 30% of gaming industry in the employments.
What are you talking about?
Do you think DEI has a play in there?
You see, hold on. 9 non-binary people make up 30% of the gaming industry. You sure?
Yep. Employees. Yep.
Okay.
30-40%. Do you
Hold
think
on.
that?
So wait. Let me understand. Wait. Hold on. Let me understand your claim. 30% of the gaming industry are non-binary people,
Non-binary. Yep.
and you're absolutely sure about that.
100% sure about that.
If I look this up and it's not true, what are you gonna say?
How to look it up? Look it up through IGN. Another example, affirmative action was already vetted by the Supreme Court before, but now that it got taken away, you look at the UC school system stats, college stats. The people that were being affected by affirmative action were Asians and Indians, the most than white people were. Do you think that black people and Hispanic people should be discriminating against Asian and Indians when it comes to universities?
Affirmative action didn't discriminate against them. All right. No.
They did though, because they were rating both
okay, so I looked this up. No, 30% of the gaming industry is not non-binary. However, studies on gender diversity in the gaming industry do show a growing presence of non-binary individuals. About 4% of the respondents were non-binary in the 2021 International Game Developers Association.
It's more than that.
In 2022, 2% of the gamers' workforce identified as non-binary. Where'd you get it from?
It's more
Are
than
you
that.
talking? Are you talking about maybe the employees at IGN, not the entire gaming industry?
Well, it was the employees for, I don't know if it was Ubisoft or I say
Okay.
gaming industries. I should
Okay,
know.
that's Ubisoft,
But still,
not
though.
good. The gaming industry.
Is that fair though?
Yeah,
You think
sure.
that's a little bit suspicious?
If Ubisoft is hiring like qualified people, then it's fine.
But it's not fine when only 2% of the U.S. population, 1% of the U.S. population is non-binary, and then they make up like 30-40% of one of the biggest companies, which is about to go bankrupt here.
13% of America is black, yet over 80% of the NBA is black. Are you saying that they're discriminating, or are they hiring, are they getting the best people?
Are you talking about Master's Business Administration degrees?
No, I said the NBA.
NBA. Well, yeah, they need some DEI, don't they? They don't have enough white people in the NBA. Do you think they skip a white person?
Sombrero, I'm gonna ask you
in the
a
NBA?
genuine. Sombrero, hold on. I'm gonna ask you a genuine question. Are you trolling me right now? You
No,
playing
it's the
around?
truth. It's the truth. They don't have
No,
enough
wait,
white
hold on,
people.
wait. Hold on. Listen, Sombrero. I'm gonna ask you a very genuine question. Are you having a serious discussion or are you trolling me right now?
It's I'm not trolling. They need
Okay, you're
diversity.
not. All right, so you're not trolling me right
They
now.
need
So
Hispanic
listen.
people in the
So listen
NBA.
to. Listen to what I'm saying.
Asians,
The
they need
NBA. The NBA is the most. The NBA and the NFL. Matter of fact, sports period are
yeah.
probably the most merit-based thing. Merit-based institutions there are out there.
Okay.
They're the most merit-based institution out there. So you have to know how to play sports. You have to know how to play basketball in order
Yeah.
to be at that level.
Do they have
They're the.
diversity though?
Huh?
Do they have diversity? Because diversity
Yeah,
is
they have. Yeah, they have diversity. It's just that
oh,
black people are better at basketball.
80%. Oh, but it seems like Hispanic people don't get a chance. It doesn't seem like Asian people get a chance. It doesn't seem like white people get the same chance as African
Are
Americans.
Asians and Hispanics playing basketball at the level that black people are paying?
They
Are paying
could
it?
be playing at the level if they were the merits if diversity was included either way. Even if they're not good, they need some diversity.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's not how DEI works.
That's how it works.
No,
You
it's
need
not.
diversity.
No, it's not.
If your
No, it's not.
company,
Sombrero. That is not how DEI works.
that's
Can
how
you
it works.
hold on? Okay. Oh, that's how it works. Okay, Sombrero. Can you provide me a source that says that in the DEI provisions you have to have diversity even if did you get kicked or he's still there? Sombrero, you still there? All right, Sombrero's still there.
So,
All
yeah,
right, Sombrero. Answer me this. Can you name me a DEI policy from any company that said that they have to hire a minority even if they're not qualified? Can you
I
do
can
that?
name you a lot of companies that got in legal trouble for only having white people in their company or majority white people in their company.
That's not my question.
That's basically answering your question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
If
not.
your company has majority white
No,
people,
it's
you get in
not.
trouble. So if
Listen,
DEI was
listen to my question again, Sombrero. Can you give me a company that has a DEI policy that says to hire people even though they're a minority and not qualified? Does it say that? Can you name me anything?
no, I can't name you anything.
Exactly. So why are you saying that this is how DEI works if you know that's not how if hold on.
Majority white people.
If that's not how it works and you're admitting that's not how it works, why are you claiming so?
I can name you companies that got in trouble for having majority white people. So if the NBA
Because when they studied it, when they actually went and researched those companies, they found that they were being discriminatory.
oh really, really,
Yes.
Are you sure about that? You 100%?
I'm sure about that. Yes.
Okay, well now let me look at the source here, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. I appreciate you all being here. We have 7.1K likes, so 140 people in the room. I appreciate you all being here. You guys are wonderful. Let's see who's up next. Bilzerberg, you are up next. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up. Bill, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. Are you over 18?
Yes, I am. I think
All
what
right.
that guy
And
was trying to say is that there's people that are qualified to be. I think he's trying to say that there's minimal qualifications that they're bringing in black people in order to fit these qualifications. Is there do you think that that's a possibility that maybe this person graduated from Harvard, this person graduated from Harvard, but this one had a 3.5, this one had a 3.1, but they'll let the black person in even though they had the lower GPA?
I can't even say if that's a possibility or not. Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's all I had.
All right, cool. Not a problem. Appreciate you being up here. All right, Jen, I'm bringing you up next, Jen. And then after Jen is going to be Jen Gordon. Jen, how's it going?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right. Are you over 18? And do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
I do not disagree with anything that you have on the board. I do feel that people don't understand what DEI is. It's not something new. It's been around for a long time. People are focusing on jobs because they're bitter about they think black people are getting jobs and taking something from them. But DEI at its heart is about diversity, equity, inclusion, and that really doesn't have much to do with race. It's more about inclusion for disabled people, having ramps put in to places so they can be part of the workforce. I work in education. DEI helps autistic children get extra help. DEI also is for the socially disadvantaged and economic people who grew up in poor areas, and that's why we have the FAFSA, we have grants, we have certain programs for people in those communities, and this goes across racial and ethnic backgrounds. I mean, if you are a disabled white man, then you are qualified to get DEI. Um, it's really crazy how people are thinking, like, everyone I've heard that you talk to so far, they're so focused on Black people. Like, why are you so obsessed with what Black people are doing? We
We
are
know
just
why.
out here living our lives. We are not trying to take anything from anyone. And I saw so many people, because I'm in education, I saw so many people in places like Texas and who now their children are not getting extra help for their autism because that was a DEI program and they voted to get rid of DEI. And
Right.
now they cannot afford, because to be in those programs costs thousands of dollars, 60, 70 grand a year. They can't afford it without government assistance. So now that they voted to remove it, they didn't realize they're screwing their own kids over. I saw a farmer who was upset about, he was so happy to vote for Trump. He comes up on my Facebook page sometimes,
Gotcha.
and then he was
Gotcha.
crying.
Hey,
He got a program from Biden that gave aid to farmers, and it was the inflationary something or the other act. I can't remember. But now he's going, the government is going to make me lose my farm. No, it's Trump. It's what you voted for.
exactly.
People don't realize, they're like, oh, look, no, get rid of DEI because it's helping minorities. Well, what if you have an autistic kid, or you become disabled, or you get in a car accident? You don't want to have social programs to help people, and then you also don't want to have diversity and equity and inclusion to help them work. So what is it? You want people just to die starving on the streets?
That's
Like,
crazy. All
it
right,
is
Jen, I got to
crazy.
go ahead and
All
get to
right.
the next guest. I do
Nice talking
appreciate you
to you.
being up here. No problem.
Thank you.
W
Bye-bye.
Jen, guys. W Jen. All right, we have another Jen Gordon. How's it going?
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm all right. Are you over 18, and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yes, I'm over 18. Yeah, I have a couple questions about two things on your board.
Sure.
Um, one is, the first one about America was never great. Um, why do you blanket that statement like that? Is it because of the way that it was built?
Yes, because of what the way it was built, because of its history, the way that it's treated its citizens, because of those things, it was never great.
Gotcha. Okay. And then reparations for Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Uh, exactly what it says. Reparations. The 40 acres of the mule that Black Americans were owed after slavery, and now for everything that happens because of the effects of slavery, they should receive reparations for those things.
Do you think that also Native Americans should be given also reparations also?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. Definitely. I mean, I know that was promised, like you said, that was made to slaves at the time when the Civil War ended. But I also agree. A lot of times when you talk about this topic, the Native Americans are left out, which I'm half Cherokee, so it always bothers me, because it's like this was our original home. We didn't transfer in from anywhere or was brought over from anywhere. We were just enslaved in our own land, and
Right.
still that way to today.
Right. I agree. Native Americans should definitely get reparations.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, other than that, yeah, and can you explain a little bit to me too about your last statement on socialism greater than capitalism?
Yeah, I believe that capitalism is built off of exploitation, and at this moment in time in our society, it's basically outlived its usefulness. We're in a stage of late stage capitalism where we're going back to a form of neo feudalism, where the people who basically own everything, like the tech bro billionaires that we have right now, the ones who have most of the hold over our society, are basically going to make us all their serfs, which is essentially just another form of fascism. So because they, capitalism just requires profit. You know what I mean? Ever grow, like to grow and keep growing and keep growing, keep growing. But resources are scarce. You know what I mean? Things cannot keep growing. Like growth for forever growth is not possible. You can't grow forever. You know what I mean? But capitalism requires you to do that. Capitalism requires you to always have profit. So because of that, if it always requires you to have profit, you're going to put the pursuit of money over people. That's what you're always gonna do. Put the pursuit of money over actual people, and we've seen that
Yeah.
multiple times in this country, where companies would do outright evil things just to make more money. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's outlived its usefulness at this point. Now, capitalism is good for production. It is good for production. It is good for growth, and it's even good at allocating resources. Marx even said that it's good at those things in its beginning stages. But at this stage right now, it's outlived its usefulness. We need to move to something else.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, especially like a socialized medical care and different programs like that that was initiated, you know, several years ago, but never been revamped to fit the way society is today. And that definitely needs to be looked at and changed because there should be health care for, there shouldn't be anyone in America that can't have health care
Right.
or care for medications.
Right. Agreed.
I mean, it just shouldn't be that way. And if that's, I've had plenty of people to call me, socialists for believing that way, or believe in socialist um, ideas, but you know, with the amount of money, I mean, it's mainly ruled by lobbyists, big pharma, big corporations like that are making the millions or billions of dollars. And the wealth is it doesn't trickle down like it says under capitalism. It doesn't do that
Right.
anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me about it and discussing it.
All right. Not a problem. I appreciate you being up here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and bring our next guest up. I see the bold. Are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, friend?
I'm all right. The bold. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm 46 years old. America was never great. Let me see. Being woke is good. Reparations for Black Americans. I disagree with that. I'm black. Why should I believe in a God? Yeah, we should believe in it. In God. Faith is unreliable for truth. No, I disagree with that. Holy books are not evidence. Uh, Dems, socialism is greater than capitalism. Disagree with that. So I disagree with a few things.
All right. Cool. Go ahead and start with the first thing you disagree with. Let's talk.
Okay. Reparations for Black Americans. I disagree with that because it's too far out from slavery. They should have given it to us coming out of it. Now we're at a equal playing field to where it's just not going to. It's not. It's no longer relevant.
Are you and you're a Black American yourself, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay, cool. So my I'm not black. I'm not a Black American. I'm Haitian. So the fact that I agree with it and you kind of don't is kind of interesting. But here's what I would say. I understand that being so far off from slavery, it makes it kind of irrelevant. But the two things that I would say is that even though it's been about 100 and something years since slavery, the effects of slavery are still everlasting up until today. Like the entire reason redlining and the entire African American stereotype of criminality that we still have to this day, the only reason that exists is because of slavery. You know what I mean? But the second thing that I would say is that right now I don't believe that we're on an equal playing field. If you just look at all of the social statistics, it's like I was telling to another guest before, minorities, especially